guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my second video. Today we are doing something that's very near and dear to my heart. I have found the best chocolate chip cookie recipe. So since the beginning of the pandemic, I've been on a quest to finding the best chocolate chip cookie. I've tried a handful, if not a dozen recipes, and I finally did it, guys. I found the one that brings me to life. It's the best chocolate chip cookie recipe, and I thought it would be really exciting for us to for me to share it with you guys, because I think everyone should know its existence. So I will put a link in the description box below to the recipe because it's not mine. So I don't want to make it seem like it is. It is not mine. I don't get credit for this one. However, I will share the recipe with you guys today. So what I'm planning on doing is 3 variations of the cookie. So the first one is going to be the basic chocolate chip cookie that everyone loves. The second one we're going to be doing is a birthday cake golden Oreo cookie. And the last one we are going to be doing is going to be a sweet and salty score cookie. I think that's going to be my favorite. So let's just go ahead and let's get right into it. And I hope you guys enjoy. To begin, we start with 1 cup of cold butter. Now this is really important. It has to be cold, not frozen, just cold. So if you have it in the fridge, just pull it out of the fridge. And you want to add this to your mixer. I'm using the paddle attachment on my mixer. Next, we're going to go in with 1 cup of brown sugar and half a cup of plain caster sugar, okay? So just flop that in there. Whoop. Trying to get it all in there for you guys. All right, we'll get this nice and creamy. Guys, I forgot to mention, for those of you who don't have a stand mixer like this one at home, you can definitely use a bowl with a wooden spoon. It will require a bit more arm strength. However, it can be done anyway. I'm lucky enough to have this KitchenAid mixer, so I will be using it because it'll make my life that much easier. But yeah, it can be done in a normal mixer with a wooden spoon. Okay, so once you've creamed your butter and 2 sugars together and you're happy with the look of it, we're just gonna add the 2 eggs. So we're just gonna scrape down the edges, and this is just gonna help everything come together and get more incorporated. So once you've scraped down the edges of your bowl, you could get it back in, attach the attachment, and get it going again. Just like so. So once everything has come together like it has here, we're gonna add our flours. We're using 2 types of flour. So we're using 1.5 cups of cake flour and 1.5 cups of regular all-purpose flour. You wanna be sure to pass it through a sieve just to get any lumps or anything out. And to this, we are going to add 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda, 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and we also have 1 teaspoon of cornstarch. The cornstarch is what's gonna give us that chewy, dense texture that we all love in a cookie, okay? So that's very important. And you don't have to worry about mixing it up. It's all gonna get mixed up together in the mixer. So on low speed, we're gonna start adding this again. And you might wanna wait when you get about halfway, just to let it incorporate. And then once it looks incorporated, just add the rest. It might get a bit messy, but that's what baking's all about, right? So just go with it, it's fine. At this point, you don't want to overmix your cookie dough. So before all the flour gets absorbed into the dough, you want to add your chocolate chips. Now this is the first dough I'm making, so this is going to be the classic chocolate chip cookie. So I'm just using bittersweet chocolate chips. I like the Carbo chocolate chips, but you can use any chocolate chips you have on hand, okay? So we'll just pour these in. You could also add like walnuts or different types of nuts at this point, but because this is the classic, I'm just going with the simple chocolate chips that we all know and love. They're done. Well, I mean, We still gotta bake them. But some people will just eat this as is. I won't judge you. It's totally up to you. I don't suggest it because of the raw eggs, but a spoonful wouldn't hurt anyone. So I'm just gonna get all the cookie dough off of my paddle attachment. I wanna try to get as much as possible off because I don't wanna waste any of it. At this point, what you can do, you can either pop it in the fridge if you're not going to be baking it right away, or if you're going to be baking it right away, which I will be doing, we're gonna start scooping them out and onto a baking sheet. I just have a baking tray here with some parchment paper, all right, to make sure that it doesn't stick. Okay guys, so I'm just gonna use a spoon to measure it out. You wanna get, I would say maybe like 1/4 cup per cookie. Just go visually. The most important thing is that all your cookies are the same size because we do want them to cook evenly. And if you have to come back and add a bit more to the cookie balls that you had already prepared, or the cookie dough balls that you had prepared, that's fine. Okay, so I finished scooping all my dough. And like I said earlier, if you feel the dough is a bit tacky, a bit sticky, you wanna make sure to put it in the fridge because dough that is cold is gonna bake up rather than melt in the oven. And that's what we want with these cookies. We wanna get that thickness, that height. We don't want them to spread out. So I'm definitely gonna put these in the fridge for maybe about a half hour. If you have more time, it won't do it any harm. And I'll see you guys back in 30 minutes. So guys, at this point, my main camera and microphone decided to stop working. So all I'm saying is that you need to put about 6 cookies per tray in order to avoid smushing and melting into one another. And you could bake these at 410 for about 10 to 12 minutes. So depending on your oven, it might cook faster or not as fast. So just keep an eye on them and you should be good. So the cookies have now come out of the oven. You can see that they're beautifully golden brown. And I'm gonna show you guys a trick to get the perfect round shape of the cookie we want. I'm just using a round cookie cutter. You could use a Tupperware, you could use whatever you have that's round. And you wanna place it over the cookie and kind of give it a jiggle. And that's how you're gonna be able to get the perfectly round cookie. Now can I have a paper towel? I need a paper towel. You might want to wash it off though because they just came out of the oven. The chocolate is melty, so you just want to wipe it down as you go as to not stain the other cookies because it won't look as aesthetically pleasing. Pleasing. Can you guys tell I'm getting excited about these cookies? I can't even talk anymore. There you go. So I'm pleased with that. And now I'm just going to finish them off with some fleur de sel. Just like fancy salt. If you don't have any, you could just find kind of like a more grainy salt or a flaky salt. A finishing salt works as well. So we'll just top it off with these. Now it might look like most of it is falling off, but don't worry. When you bite into the cookie, you'll really get that flavor. Beautiful. So I'm gonna let these cool. I'm gonna bake the other cookies as well. And then at the end, we'll do a taste test to see which one is best. Okay guys, so we're ready for our second variation on the best chocolate chip cookie. This one is the birthday cake golden Oreo one. Same ingredients as before, but we're just changing the add-ins at the end. We're gonna be using 2 cups of white chocolate chips for this one. Then we're going to go in with maybe a cup of golden Oreos that are chopped up. These are so good. Then we're gonna go for half a cup of sprinkles. Also, I'm putting in Generate Cake's liquid cake batter, okay? So this is instead of vanilla. I'll show you what it looks like. So it's like this, and it smells like a birthday cake. It's crazy. So I've put some here. It's about 1 teaspoon that I'm gonna be using, and you can use it instead of vanilla in any recipes that you're making just to add an extra something. It's really delicious. So I'm gonna go ahead and prepare the dough, and I'll show you guys what it looks like at the end. Okay, so we're ready for our third cookie dough. Well, actually the cookie dough is the same. It's just what we're adding in, right? This time we're doing the sweet and salty score cookie. Instead of only putting bittersweet chocolate chips, here is what I'm gonna add in at the end. I have maybe 3/4 of a cup to a cup of salted caramel Chip-Its. So, whoa. You can find these in your grocery store. If not, you could probably order them online as well. I have about 1/2 a cup of pretzels. These are gonna add a crunch and a saltiness. I have about 3/4 of a cup to a cup of score bar. So this one here that I have chopped up and I'm using. You can also use score bits, but I prefer this one because it's coated in chocolate. And lastly, I have a cup of 70% Lindt chocolate, which is this one here. You could use any type of chocolate you want, but I really like the contrast of the dark chocolate with the sweet and salty components of the cookie. I'm going to go ahead and prep this dough, and I'll show you guys what it looks like at the end. Alright guys, so the third and final dough has been in the fridge for about 30 minutes. So we are now ready to go into the oven. Once again, it's 410 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes. Last one, here we go. All right guys, so we are done. So we have the classic chocolate chip cookie, we have the birthday cake golden Oreo cookie, and we have the sweet and salty score cookie, which is right here. So I guess I'll give them a try just to let you know how they taste, and we'll go from there to see which one is my favorite. So I'll start with the chocolate chip cookie here. Now this one has a bit more flat than the two others because the others have cookies in them or pretzels in them and stuff that don't really melt, whereas this one only had chocolate chips, right? So this one will naturally be a bit flatter, but it's still beautifully thick. I'm happy with that. I don't know if you hear the crunch, but the outside is perfectly crunchy and the center is really, really nice and chewy. Oh my God, this should be illegal, guys. I'm so happy with it. So next, let's try the birthday cake golden Oreo cookie. So this one had time to sit a bit longer, so the Chip-Its haven't melted as much. I'm going for this bite because I see that there's a golden Oreo in it. Oh yeah, you really get that birthday cake extract. It seems really bizarre at first, but it's so good. The golden Oreo adds a crunch. Really good. All right, and here we go with the last one. So remember the last one is the sweet and salty score cookies. So we had the pretzels, we have the salted caramel Chip-Its, sorry, we had the Lindt chocolate, and we also had the score bits. Oh, look at the thickness on that one. Oh my God. This is so exciting. I don't know if you guys get as excited as I do about food, but no shame, guys. I want to get a piece of the pretzel. Oh my God, you get hit with the saltiness. That's my favorite. Guys, hands down. Do I have chocolate on my face? Do I have chocolate on my face? No? That's my favorite one. If you only have to make one of them, make this one, guys. Alright guys, so there you have it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. In conclusion, I think you should stop what you're doing and just go bake these cookies. They're going to change your life. And if you could only make one of them, I would suggest the middle one. It's like the classic, but reinvented. It's so good. If you guys enjoyed, please consider subscribing to my channel. And don't hesitate in leaving suggestions on what you would like to see next. There you have it. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.